This is the last call, so we're going to close out with Carpe Diem. Hi, Carpe Diem. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi. The good news is I guess I believe in very that women should have autonomy over their choices and their body. So my real issue is that if you have these abortion deserts, right, where you give doctors I guess doctors shouldn't necessarily, should they or should not, that's my question, be forced to do procedures, because if they aren't, then you end up with an abortion desert and a woman that's put in a very dangerous position, right? Mm-hmm. That can't really do it in a safe way because she doesn't have the options. And there are real abortion deserts in the U.S. and those things bother me a lot.
Yeah. I live in one.
So my argument on this would be, if we let doctors just have irrational prejudices, then they're just not good at their job. Like they're not really a doctor. If you say, "Oh, I'm a doctor, but I won't operate on people with brown hair," like then you're not really a good doctor. You shouldn't be licensed. You're literally incapable of doing your job, because anyone could say, "Oh, I'm a doctor and the only medicine I do is quackery nonsense." No, in order to be a practicing doctor, you need to meet some certain standards. And one of those standards is you can't have an irrational prejudice against someone because of their race or their, sexuality, because that's barbaric. And if you say, "Well, I'm a doctor, but I won't do abortions," it's well, you're not good enough to be a doctor then.
Right. It's like going to McDonald's and saying, "Hey, I want to work for you guys, but I will not under any circumstances give anybody fries ever." It's like, okay, well, cool. That's your prerogative. You don't have to work here. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think, and no, you couldn't ever force a doctor to do an abortion. What are you going to do? Threaten their family if they don't do it? It's nonsense. But you can just say, you can either be a doctor who serves fries in McDonald's, or you could just not be a doctor. They're the two options. There's no third option where you just randomly won't help people.
I don't disagree with you guys at all. The issue that I have is that, and by the way, I believe that beyond the autonomy issue is that when you give women power over their, reproduction, which they should have, of course, it actually helps society in general. So we should have those doctors that doing those things is my point. But if you give them an ultimatum where you give them an ultimatum where you say you either do it or you don't be a doctor, maybe you just don't get doctors, right? And then that's the issue. How do we solve the problem of doctors refusing to do it?
Make becoming a doctor something that will cancel your student loans. Fund abortion.
You can incentivize people.
Okay, I like what you pointed out there, Katie. Even using the term forcing doctors to perform abortions is ceding ground that I don't concede. And second, I agree with you that if the two options are well, you either force them to or there are no doctors, then we're in a pickle. That's frankly a false dichotomy and is not happening. If we want more doctors, there are so many people that we can get into those institutions and train up and have as doctors. It's just that it's terribly, terribly exclusionary right now and really expensive and a huge time commitment, to the point where a lot of people just don't even see it as an option. So make it accessible, make it free, or pay the loans back if you get a job as a doctor, right? And you will have an influx of doctors.
Also, I think we can see from in the UK here, you're not allowed to, only since the end of 2019 or 2020, you now have to perform abortions everywhere in the UK. We haven't run out of doctors. I mean, we've got our own health problem nonsense going on over here, but it's not because there aren't people who want to be doctors just because we've said you have to do abortions. And I know that different areas have different pressures, but like you could say, you can incentivize. If it was an actual problem we faced, if anywhere in the world made a law where everyone stopped being doctors, then we'd have to be maybe we should consider this. But I just don't think that's a realistic concern.
Right. Also, there are different kinds of doctors, right? We're not going to dentist's office going you need to perform an abortion right now, right?
That's like the Sum 41 song. The dentist said my mom should have had an abortion.
Oh my God. We've got Katie to sing. We win.
Oh
no. No. So here's the thing. If you become an OBGYN, right, then yes, that is part of your job description. So if you want to keep your job and make money,
do a good job or fuck off.
Do a good job.
So I appreciate what you guys said, and I also appreciate Vida correcting the language of forcing doctors, because I agree that I didn't even realize it was conceding a problem already. You know.
Yeah.
But the issue I have then, everything you said is true. The gatekeeping probably is the problem. Perhaps it's intentional, to cause the problem. But I also say, then how do you end up with abortion as it's like it is in some of the southern states of the U.S.? And what do we do with those women that are living in this situation where they're too poor to get to the nearest doctor? It's prohibitive. And
right. The problem there is not that there are no doctors and not that doctors are refusing to perform abortions. It's that they're selectively defunding places that offer abortion. So it's not that the doctors are saying, I'm not going to perform it, screw everyone else. It's that the people who want to are being defunded actively. So I agree there are abortion deserts. It's a problem. It is one of the biggest problems, I think, that is happening right now that I'm hoping this new administration will at least kind of help. But it's not about doctors refusing to do abortions. It's about clinics that want to help people perform abortions and want to do that being denied the ability for stupid reasons.
Absolutely.
Like, your ceilings aren't 7 feet tall, therefore, no, you can't.
I think in terms of what you should do, I think that you can do a multi-pronged approach to this. One is like lobbying and voting and doing the kind of legislative angle, but then there's also the grassroots on the ground stuff, like donate to your local charities which help with this kind of thing. You can volunteer your time to them. You can drive people in your area to the nearest abortion clinics. You can go and defend them from all these crazy protesters outside.
A lot of the same people who stormed the Capitol on the 6th were convicted of either there was an abortion clinic bomber who attended the thing on the 6th. It's the same people and people who go to,
hopefully they'll all be in jail.
Yeah. Hopefully here's the thing. The people who have been going to Planned Parenthood for healthcare. I went to Planned Parenthood for healthcare for years when I didn't have insurance, and it was never for an abortion. It was for basic healthcare. I had to deal with those people who everyone saw on the 6th every day that I went there, right? That was a thing that I had to deal with.